Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Tigers franchise mode here in MLB The Show 21. So in last episode, we had the entire off season, and we are ready to start up our brand new season, and I'm very excited to see how this team does, because we do have a very different roster from last year, because a lot of younger guys have jumped into our lineup. As you can see, making his debut this season is going to be Gary Harris. He's going to be a bench player, which kind of sucks right now. But eventually maybe this is Nomar Mazar's, I think, his last year on his contract, so we could always let him go at the end of the season, and then Gary Harris could replace him. But Gary Harris should be a solid bench option for now, because he's got okay contact hitting and power hitting and whatnot. Obviously that does still need to develop a bit, but we are going to play him in our bench lineup, and I'm excited to see how he performs. Also, Fernando Valdez is now in his second full season, and very excited to see what he could do after having 34 home runs last season. Like, he could win the batting title this season easily. Should be fun to see how he does. He should probably also make the All-Star game regardless of what happens. And then if we go to our pitching rotation, we have Chauncey McElroy making it back for his third straight season here. He hasn't been great so far, but he is still improving, so hopefully this is a big year for Chauncey. Gerald Martin will be making the MLB for the first time. He doesn't have the greatest Ks in 9, which is a little bit risky, but he does have really good base on balls per 9, so he should be pretty decent, I would say, but maybe not fantastic of a pitcher. He's there. And then we also have, Diego Corona as our setup pitcher. I could have used him as a closer, but we are going to use him as a setup guy for now because he's got good stamina for a closing pitcher, so we will use him in that spot for now, but eventually maybe Aoki leaves and then Corona could take over that closing pitcher spot. But we do have some good young guys in our lineup, and I'm pretty excited to see how this team performs, because this is definitely our best team we've had so far, I think. Now, we do have a few comments to go over before we actually sim 1 month and go to the draft and all that sort of stuff. We have one from RyGuy0929. He says, I just started watching the series. I'm loving it so far, and I really appreciate that, RyGuy. I'm having a lot of fun with the series as well. It is still a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I am having a lot of fun with the series, more than I expected, to be honest. And then we have a few comments from Dylan Burrows. He says, that's exactly what I mean, Valdez. So that's in reference to last episode, because I was talking about Valdez and thinking that he meant Valdez, and he actually did, so that's good. And then also Dylan decided to give me some info on the contract situation. He says you might have to hand out some big contracts. Just got to bite the bullet, 6 to 7 years, lowest amount they'll take. So, we'll definitely do that type of thing. But the only problem, I think, is some players, when they start to make a little bit less money, they their morale kind of goes a little bit down the tubes. But we'll probably try and lock up a lot of guys who have their contracts up, because I can't remember exactly who needs a contract, but I'm pretty sure Valdez needs a contract. And then there's also some other younger guys, like I believe Chauncey's contract is up. Yeah, Chauncey needs a contract and whatnot too. So it's going to be a very interesting contract situation that we have. And it should be pretty good. And then our final comment is from Boomy's Realistic Rebuilds. So he says a reliever with very low Ks per 9 is basically the worst type of pitcher, and he'll be better as a starter. I'm talking about Gerald Martin. So it is good that I decided to put him into our pitching rotation then. He is in our 5 spot, but I could always change it around based on player stats once we actually get simulating a little bit. And then I also, he also said, like I said to him, so you will use him in that 5 spot and maybe make Wentz a reliever like what I have here. And he says, depends on base on balls per 9. If he has a low base on balls per 9, trade him immediately as BAB per 9, I'll just say. Decides how good they really will be in simulations. So Gerald Martin should be pretty good, because he actually does have quite a bit of quirks. I think he should be a pretty good pitcher for the most part, except for the strikeout factor. So hopefully we can continue to develop that. He is 24 already, so it might not get much better, but hopefully we could still get him to being a little bit more well-rounded in that area. And he also said he projects him to maybe have like a 3.25 ERA with a 1.1 WHIP is what he would be probably averaging around per season. So we'll see if he gets that. Should be interesting to find out how these young guys simulate in our lineup. And yeah, there also is one other thing I wanted to mention quickly is that David Jordan is going to be back in AAA to start the season, but at some point we could always call him up. He actually would be a better starting pitcher because he actually has decent Ks in 9. So yeah, his home runs in 9 isn't that great though. That's the only problem. But yeah, we'll let him play in AAA to start the season. He might come up at some point, and yeah, that type of thing. So anyways, those are the comments I'd like to go over. So now we can finally get into simulating, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, we'll sim up to the draft. We'll do the draft in this episode. And then I don't know. It depends on how long this episode is at that point. Maybe we could simulate another month or so, like to the All-Star break. But I'm very excited to see how guys like Valdez play. So anyways, let's get this started. So we are going to sim up to draft day and see how our team performs. Will we stay around 500 for the first time? Let's auto fix AAA. That's fine. We're off to an okay start so far. Yeah, we're off to a good start. Okay, I'm liking this a lot. Yeah, this team is doing better than I expected, I think. Auto fix AA doesn't really matter too much. We're dropping a little bit of games down here, which is not great. But there's a good little winning streak, and we are 29 and 27. So our first month or so, actually first 2 months, I think, we're actually above 500, which is for the first time in our team's history. Well, not history, I guess you could say, but in this franchise mode at least, I'm really impressed with that. Obviously, it's not the greatest record, but Kansas City looks like they're a really good team, and the White Sox are really good as well. So we might end up missing the playoffs, but we could end up maybe making a wild card spot as well at some point. I don't think we're going to win the division at this rate, but we could still. We're not too far behind those other teams if we could go on like a tear down the stretch. But let's take a look at some of our player stats going into the draft. So Casey Mize is off to a pretty good start, I think. 3.34 ERA. His FIP is a 3.98, so he's been pretty solid, I think. Matt Manning's been pretty good as well. I believe his FIP should be pretty solid. Yeah, his FIP's pretty solid. Tarek Skubal has been kind of struggling a little bit by comparison to last year, but he might have a better FIP, so it might be the team around him. No, his FIP isn't that great, so he's kind of having a bad year by comparison to last year, but maybe he'll improve down the stretch. Still a lot of the season left to go, so. And yeah, Chauncey's right around the same. At least he's winning games, but yeah, this is his best season so far, so he's slowly improving. He's up to an 82 now, so that's a good thing, but his FIP isn't great. It could be because I might have rushed him into the lineup a little bit, but he's only 22, so we'll take it. Gerald Martin has been really good. Holy crap. Okay. So yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot of people, but he walks only. He's walked 20 people, which is a decent amount of walks. But that ERA and that WHIP is really good, and he's got a 6-0 record to start his career. Okay, how's his FIP though? Out of curiosity, his FIP is 4.46, which is not fabulous, but he has still been pretty solid, I would say. Once has been used as a reliever, he's been pretty good. Or pretty solid, I would say. Not good, but I'll just scroll through actually all the AAA stats and stuff like that as well. I won't read them all because there's too much players to count in this, but if you guys see anything you want me to bring up, like Dennis Tucker is killing it in AA. I don't know why he's in AA again. I thought I moved him to triple, but whatever. Relief pitcher-wise, it looks like our relievers are doing okay. At least Colin Poche has been pretty solid. Alexander's been pretty good with that whip at least. Daniel Norris is struggling, which is not great, and Fulmer's been pretty solid. So our pitching seems like in general has been pretty solid for the most part. Nolan Blackwood's still killing it down there as a reliever in AA. Interesting. I'm more excited about our infield guys, I think. Pedro Juarez is doing good. Unfortunately, he has no potential. Closing pitcher-wise, Aoki's been pretty good, and yikes. Okay, I think we might want to put Corona back down. Maybe not. It might be a little bit too early. He's off to a terrible start. Very terrible start. Holy crap. A 3.5 whip and an 18 ERA. Yikes. I mean, he's barely played. He's only played 2 innings. But he's walked 2 people in 2 innings. He's got 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. Yikes. Maybe I'll still leave him up here for now. because it seems like he's getting them development, which is good. So, but that is not good stats at all. Rodrigo Messias is playing pretty good in AA, which is a good thing because he's one of our top prospects. Jackson Reitz has not been great, hitting at 210. Laurencio's been, he's got RBIs, I guess. He's hitting 231 as well. Hirsch and Bonner have both been pretty solid in triple and double, which is good to see. Conrad Colvin's hitting a 288, and he's got 14 home runs already and 40 RBIs, which is insane. Really good stats from him. And our boy Fernando Valdez has got 11 home runs so far and 33 RBIs, hitting a 243. So a little bit of a slower start than last year, I think. But his OPS is still pretty good. He probably still will make the All-Star game because if he has a really good second half of the season like he did last year, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. What else do we got here? Brujan's hitting a 154. That's pretty bad. Yikes. Yeah, that's not good at all. Jonathan Johnson's hitting a 351 in AA. Yikes. Or that's crazy, yeah, not yikes, but Candelario's been fantastic, hitting a 330 so far. And Isaac Paredes hitting a 243. Not too bad. Candelario's been really good, though. Castro's hitting a 312, which is really good. Bob Montez has been not great, I would say, but not horrible. Luis Garcia could always come up to the MLB at some point. Charles Arrington, who we drafted last year, the 18-year-old with deep potential, that's a 73 overall, is hitting a 254. He's been pretty good. He's already got 7 home runs as well. And Vince Means is hitting a 288, which is nice to see. What else have we got here? 260, and Gary Harris barely played. Looks like he was maybe a pinch runner, because he's had 3 at-bats. He's got 1 run, but he's got no, like, He might have been a pinch runner at some point, but he is getting development, so that's a good thing. Because we need him to get his contact hitting and stuff better. But he might do better down the stretch, who knows. Victor Reyes is hitting a 287, that's pretty good. Brock Deatherage hitting a 222 is not fabulous. What else do we got here? Some pretty solid stats all around, I would say. Okay, so now we get into, let me just take a look at what we got here. Let's take a look. Injured list. Anybody that's injured. Michael Castillo is out 1 to 2 months. That's a big loss for, I think it's AAA. It might be AA. Yeah, it's AA. Maybe not. He's not been fabulous, but that's still a big injury to him. Let's take a look at... What was I going to take a look at? Oh, yeah, the draft class again. Before we actually get into the draft, where was this damn thing? Oh, yeah, scouting. Why am I being so dumb right now? Okay, let's take a look and see if there's any guys that we could get in the draft that might be steals. We have a pretty solid pick, I'm pretty sure. There might be some actually pretty good players. Like this third baseman might be good. But I don't know if I want to risk taking somebody like him when he might not be that good. But he might be good because he's only 18. Should be in an interesting draft nonetheless. But let's get into the draft. Let's waste no time. See what we can pick up. Hopefully we can pick up something decent at number 8. So let's see what goes before us. So yeah, Rex Bravo did go first overall. I was thinking that guy was going to be the first overall pick. He goes to Pittsburgh, so they get another pitcher. Omar Rivera goes to the Rockies. This guy might be more of a project option for them. Theodore Wong goes to the Orioles. Another project type of player probably. Todd Holder going to the Marlins, did I say? No, to Texas. Interesting, another project player. Gilberto Valdez, so a brother of our Valdez, we'll say, is definitely going to be a project player. Alex German, another project player. And Ethan Miller, another project player. Let's see what we can get here. So let's sort this by fully scouted. Actually, by potential first. I'm thinking about maybe Carmen Nunez. Like, if he's actually that good, he might be a really good steal to get. Not that we really need a third baseman to the extent, but maybe we could use him because we could always use somebody like Valdez in the outfield, not infield. Yeah, no, outfield. Okay. There's also Kenji Sirota, who's probably a project player. Bo Jordan, relief pitcher. We do need relievers, but this guy's 22 already, but he might have a high overall. He's not fully scouted yet, really, though, so I kind of want somebody that's scouted the most accurately, which in that sense, we might not have a lot. Let me sort this by overall, see what we got here. So, the best by overall with most scouted is probably Nunez. I think I might go Nunez, because we can probably get relievers in other rounds. But let me take a look at what else we got here. Like, a lot of these other guys look like project players, and I don't really want a project player. There was that guy that I saw that was 75-75, but I don't think he is a 75-75. Because I don't see him here, I don't think. Don't remember what player he was. Let me sort this by potential again. Yeah, I don't even see him. Let's go back by this. Actually, let's go by ETA for a second. I feel like we gotta go with that guy I was mentioning now. At third baseman. Because, I mean, he's almost fully scouted. Like, if he is, like, if some of these stats are accurate, he is a little bit below average on contact. His power, it might be really good. And then his fielding, it's mostly he's a power player, it seems like. I think I'm going to go with Carmen Nunez. Because why not? Apparently we're deep at third base. So I don't know if I really need him. Let me actually take at places that we need first. This might be a little bit of a long episode, but shortstop. So yeah, there was that this was the guy that was 75-75, but he's getting more scouted and he doesn't look good. Doesn't look like really any good shortstop options, so we don't need a shortstop. Left fielding wise, not really somebody I would take at this spot. Center fielding, probably the same boat, even though this guy could be maybe a good center fielder. That guy's pretty interesting, but his scouting isn't that accurate. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that third baseman. He's 18 years old. He looks pretty good if his stats are right. Like, if he's actually a really good power hitter, regardless if his overall is like a 68 at 18, he's going to be probably a pretty good power hitter. So, we're going to take Carmen Nunez and see if he's good. Hopefully he is. Because we do need maybe some more guys that could play on, like, third base, second base, that type of thing. Okay, let's take a look at what there is for relief pitchers. Doesn't seem like we did any good scouting job at relief pitchers. Yeah, the best relievers don't look that great. This guy might be good, but he's a little bit older. Like, I feel like I could get him next round if need be, or a later round because he's 22 already. Like, it's kind of a risk, though, taking a 22-year-old that doesn't have that much scouted. So we might not be able to get a relief pitcher. Starting pitcher-wise, I don't see anybody that jumps off, really. Maybe this guy. Because he's a 70-70 at 19, potentially. I don't know. What does this guy play? Just first and third? I don't really think we need another catcher, to be honest. 18-year-old first baseman that has probably really low overall. Second baseman. Do we need second baseman? That guy doesn't really have good starting overall. Yeah, this draft class doesn't look fabulous, to be honest. Maybe we go with another closer, like Chuck Rush. Because we do need closers. There's also Delgado. I think I'm going to take Chuck Rush. Because I honestly don't really know what else to get at this point. Like, this guy's 23 already, so that's a bit of a meh. It's 20 years old, left field, but not really good potential. Yeah, I'm going to just take Chuck Rush. It's a pretty cool name, too. And then what are we going to get? In competitive round balance B pick, I honestly don't think this draft is going to be that good, to be honest. Like, I could be completely wrong, but our scouts didn't do the greatest job at scouting. This guy would be high over potential, potentially, but low overall. This guy's not even scouted really at all. Like, I could just take a shot in the dark with a random reliever, which I think I might do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take a shot in the dark with a reliever. Might as well since it's an extra pick. Third round pick, what do we got? I don't really know what we could get. Start by potential again. Yeah, that guy's going to have a good potential probably, but he's going to be a low overall. But being 18, he might end up being able to reach that potential. Or he could be a higher overall than it says, but this guy's probably a project player. I still might take him anyway since he's 18. What about overall wise? There's still a closer that apparently might have 80-80, but I doubt it. 19-year-old starting pitcher, 70-70 is not terrible. There's another relief pitcher that we could shoot in the dark with. I really don't know what to go with. I think maybe that starting pitcher is interesting. Maybe. Yeah, I might go with the starting pitcher, because if he's a 70-70, he still might be a decent option, but I don't know. Or we go with, what was the other player that was like scouted pretty good? Oh yeah, it was Claudio Mora. Yeah, you know what, we're going to just take Claudio Mora. He might be a really low overall, but he's only 18, so we could still maybe develop him into being a player in the future years, but we're going to take him. Might as well. I don't really see anything else that's out there that's really interesting to me yet. Like, this draft looks like a crapshoot. Like, it looked better before we actually got into this draft. What do we got? Another starting pitcher. Maybe we'll just take another reliever that could be good. Just take some random shots. So we'll take Geraldo Samuels. Because at this rate, we don't really know what anybody's going to be in this. What else we got here for potentially good players? Our 18-year-old right fielder, Willie Maldonado. We'll take you, might as well, because maybe you could we could use you as a center fielder. You're 18 as well, so might as well take you. Even though you could end up being a project player. And what else we got here? Nate Hart. Yeah, everybody else does not look that good. We could take that closer that has 80-80 potentially. He's 20. And we'll take a risk with this closer, might as well. I feel like this draft is probably going to be our worst draft yet, but I could be wrong with that. Let's see what we got in this draft, and then we'll also take a look at the All-Star voting, and I think that'll be pretty much it for this episode at that point. But our first pick was a 69 B potential. Okay, so I think we might have got a really good pick here. His potential is, yeah, B potential, that's just good. 69 overall is really good for an 18-year-old. But the only problem is he doesn't have a lot of contact hitting. Yeah, he needs to improve on some areas, but he's got good power already. I think that's a really good pick. Yeah, that's definitely a really good pick. Third baseman. He doesn't actually have a secondary position, so he can't play first base. So he might be just like a pure replacement for Kane Delario at some point. Chuck Rush, 67 overall, 76 potential. I wouldn't say terrible, because 67 at 21 is not really. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just becomes like a AAA closer. Something like that. Nicholas Lorang, not good. 73 potential, 60 overall. Maybe he becomes like a relief pitcher at some point. But I don't think he will. He probably will end up just being like a AAA reliever. Claudio Mora, 88 potential, so high potential like I thought, but 43 overall at 18. Definitely going to be a project player, but if we could develop him right, that guy is going to be probably a good steal. Geraldo Samuels is a 59 at 21, which is not good. But he's got 75 potential, so maybe he becomes something for AAA. And Willie Maldonado, 71 potential, 50 overall. not good either. Only 18 now, which is a good thing. And then Jose Morales was a 71 overall, and he's got 78 potential, so that one's not too bad, I would say. He could end up being maybe a closer. But yeah, that was a little bit of a weak draft. Like, Nunez is very good by comparison. Rush is okay because of his starting overall, but then you get to like Lorang, Samuels, Maldonado. Those are all big misses, I'd say. And then Claudio Mora is kind of a miss, but he does have the potential to be a good hit. And then Morales is probably a hit because of his overall. Let's take a quick look at what other players went, if there's any good overall ones. Yeah, this draft was not good. A lot of teams not having good potential players. 93 potential for German. Looks like Oakland had an okay draft. And then Ethan Miller for Seattle was a good pick. Those two good picks as well. Yeah, Seattle was good. It looks like Texas was decent, but this was a blue chip prospect. Carrera. Yeah, this draft was not good after like the blue chip prospects, it seems like. Gilberto Valdez was a 96 potential, but he's a 47, so that's going to be taking a long time for them to develop him, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for them, good for us, I guess. But yeah, this draft does not look like it was good at all. Like, there is some guys with potential, but nobody that's very insane, I would say, right now. 88 potential, 40 overall. My God. These starting overalls are horrible. So I'm really glad that we got a 69 guy. What else? Valverde is pretty solid. Not a bad draft from the Brewers. 98 potential for Rex Bravo, who went first overall. So, yeah, this guy is probably going to be one of the best pitchers for sure in this franchise mode. 21 years old, 74 overall, 98 potential. So that guy might be like a rival to Chauncey at some point. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there right now, and then maybe I'll be right in the future. But yeah, overall wise, this draft across the entire league looks pretty bad. Like, there's some decent steals, but they're like low overalls, so looks like the Dodgers actually had a pretty solid draft for potential wise, but look at this, a 37 overall. That is disgusting. So we should be almost back up at our spot, right? Yeah, I think we're next, right? No, we're not next yet. Bo Jordan must be the brother of our Jordan guy. I don't even know if there's siblings in this game or considered siblings. And there you go, that's the draft. So let me just hand out some of these contracts. I'll probably just give them to mostly everybody. At least, actually, maybe not everybody, because we do need to have some room. I will sign Claudio Mora as well. If you guys think I should be giving out contracts to like Maldonado, Samuels, and Lorang, let me know. I will do those for next episode. But right now, those are the ones I would definitely give out. Lastly, let's take a look at the All-Star voting. See who is currently making it. So Gerald Martin's actually getting All-Star votes, which is pretty crazy. So he's second in starting pitchers in his first season to being like the starting pitcher in the All-Star game, which is kind of crazy. Michael Fulmer's up there for relief pitchers, which is good to see. Closing pitcher-wise, we don't have anybody. Actually, Aoki's up there, but not that high up because Jared Gutu's really good, whoever the heck you are. Anybody else for us? Catcher-wise, we don't have anybody really. Laurencio is getting votes, but he's still down there. First baseman-wise, Conrad Colvin's getting more votes than Fernando Valdez, which kind of sucks. I could always change Colvin to being a third baseman, because that's one of his secondary positions, or we could change Valdez to being a third baseman, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So Colvin and Valdez both battling for that all-star spot. They'll both probably end up making it, I would assume. Candelario is up there for third baseman. So we have actually a lot of guys that could end up making the all-star game. It just depends on their second half of the season. Like Brian Packard's also up there. Victor Reyes is up there. So pretty good representation, I would say, for people that could make the all-star game. And And I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Let me take a look at what we got here. Let me take a look at the standings quickly. So yeah, we're 3.5 games back of that top spot. And then wildcard wise, we're 2.5 games back of the wildcard spot. So if we can have a really good second half of the season, there's a chance we could make the playoffs. We have scored more runs than we've allowed. And then also our rankings 11th in contact, 28th in power, so we definitely need to get that power better and that speed better as well. But our pitching, our defense, and our contact are all pretty solid, I would say. So not too bad. And we're apparently way better at night games than we are at day games, which is kind of weird. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Tigers franchise mode. So in next episode, we will simulate the rest of the season. We'll maybe make trades if you guys think we should be making any trades. But this team's looking pretty good for a season that we've never been above 500 with. So should be interesting to see how we wrap up this entire season. So let me know what you guys think down below. And I'll see you guys next time.